This random attack that Megyn Kelly is going through, Constantine Kissen then jumps in. Why don't you just say what I'm telling you to say, Meg, or you're going to get it. We're going to ruin your effing life. Constantine Kissen, by the way, there's going to be a day where I just release everybody's family genealogy. His is astonishing. These are all agents of Israel. Let's be very clear.
I am a Riva, and I was taught how to pray Salah.
That means every single time I pray,
the person who told me gets the reward.
5 times a day, from Fajr to Isha.
If you want to support someone like me in learning Salah,
then sponsor 10 people for just £100.
remember the Prophet, peace be upon him, said,
Charity does not decrease wealth. Click the button and donate now.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. If you're watching this video and it's Salah time, please pause it and go pray and come back when you're done. Please check out the description section of this video to support the channel. I was sent a clip of a recent Candace Owens stream where she accused Zionist mouthpiece Konstantin Kisin of making veiled threats towards pro-Israel conservative commentator Megyn Kelly for daring to express independent opinions outside the parameters of the Israeli narrative. Candace, from her own experience, identified the pattern of how these Israeli agents target their prey. I myself can attest to this, as I receive a ton of derogatory comments and death threats on a daily basis, all of which I screenshot and document. Let's watch the clip.
Look no further than this random attack that Megyn Kelly is going through, okay? For no reason at all. I hate to say this, but I was laughing reading Constantine Kissen's tweets and what they were saying to her because I lived it. I lived what Megyn Kelly's going through. I lived what Charlie was going through, where suddenly you realize these people that are pretending to be your friends, they're like, I'm your friend, I care about you, are actually like agents. And that's why I say they're Mr. Smith from The Matrix, and they're real close to ruining your life if you don't do what they want, okay? So for no reason at all, I'll tell you how this transpired. Megyn Kelly tweeted her episode and said, listen to Charlie in his own words about what he was going through. And for whatever reason, Florida Dad, which is one of these like Zio bot accounts that constantly tweets in favor of Israel, wrote this to Megyn. He writes, if you can't separate yourself from Candace Owens, many of us are going to separate ourselves from you. Like, she didn't mention anything about me. He says, we do not have to align with everyone that claims to be of the right when their motives and history are as shady as hers. Megyn Kelly and I have no attachment. So the idea that he's demanding that she make a statement against me is insane. She replies, she holds the line. She says, look at this. No, I have no obligation to, quote unquote, separate myself from anyone. I run my own media company and my own show. That show is where I express my own opinions and I will decide what and what not to opine on. If you need me to condemn Candace or Tucker for their opinions in order to listen to me, then I may not be for you. He's a close friend, and she is under enough pressure without gratuitous shots from me. My fight is with the left, not these two. Like, kudos to Megyn Kelly. Like, what? And yeah, I'm kind of taking a lot of bullets right now, so I thank you, Megyn, for not just taking a gratuitous swipe because I'm breathing over here, but it's not enough. So then they bring the other agent, Constantine Kisin, which, by the way, there's going to be a day where I just release everybody's family genealogy. His is astonishing. But these are all agents of Israel. Let's be very clear. Constantine Kisin then jumps in and says, here's the problem. He's a free speech warrior, Constantine Kisin. The problem with this approach, which many on the right are taking, is that this is exactly how the left allowed in its own extremists, or extremists, to first flourish and then to become the face of the entire movement. If you agree with Candace and Tucker, people will respect that. But to many of us, their behavior is so extreme and so deranged that the idea that it can be simply ignored because your fight is quote unquote with the left doesn't wash. You have always been a great, principled, truth-seeking journalist. So to many of your admirers like me, the question might be, if you agree with them, fine. But if you don't, why isn't your fight with them? This is almost verbatim. It's like scary to me because I'm like, this is like military training. Almost verbatim, a text message that I received from Marissa Streit when I like retweeted Max Blumenthal, I think once, when he said something that I totally agreed with. And then like all of the agents, like Dave Rubin, all of them are like, don't you see what you did? And they make you think you're going crazy, but they kind of pretend to be your friend. And you're like, what did I do wrong? Like I just said, genocide is always wrong. I just retweeted Max Blumenthal, something he said that was sensible. And they come in and they're like, I understand what you're doing. I'm your friend. But I worry that other people are going to see what you're doing and not understand. And it just, I want you to be okay because we're just wondering, like, we all agree that that's bad, right? So why don't you just say what I'm telling you to say, Meg, or you're going to get it. We're going to ruin your effing life. That's the subtext, Meg. That is the subtext, Megyn. I can promise you that. I lived it. There's no halfway with these people. I'm telling you, there's no halfway. She didn't do anything. She shared her episode and said, if you want to hear Charlie Kirk in his own words, here it is. That is literally what they are responding to. And now they're going to pretend to be her friend. So she responds to him. And she says, the more one insists that I say what one demands me to, the more committed I get in my refusal. This was Charlie. He was like, I'm done. I'm just done. I'm digging my heels in because they know what this is. Okay, Megyn is an adult. She's also quite brilliant. She's not going to fall for this, should I call it babble, right? Constantine Kissen. And you're sitting here trying to, oh, just I love you so much. She's like trying to manipulate a toddler. She's not stupid. She said, your response proves the opposite of what it purports to. She sees right through him. Of course she does, because she's not a child, okay? This is how the agents work. They pretend to be your friend. And I'm telling you, if she doesn't buck, because that's what they want, we will whip you and you will buck. And you will buck by making a strong statement against Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, when we demand it. Then they will send the next layer, which is a full-blown press attack. The press that they do not control, by the way. They do not control the press. That's anti-Semitic. I want to be very clear. They don't control it, but they will control it when they come after her if she doesn't do what they say.
Candace seems to be alluding to Kissin's comments being passive-aggressive threats towards Megyn Kelly, with the aim of silencing her by stopping her from linking the Israeli government to Charlie Kirk's murder, as well as deterring her from associating with figures that are critical of Israel, such as Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. Candace claimed there is an eerie resemblance between the communications Megyn Kelly is being bombarded with from pro-Israel propagandists to the ones she herself received when she first started speaking up for Palestine, ranging from stern and so-called friendly advice, escalating to blatant outright threats, and if the person still doesn't get in line at this point, a full-on international media character assassination campaign. Candace Owens even went as far as making the claim that Charlie Kirk was going through the same thing from disassociating himself from his Israeli handlers. I'm not a big fan of Megyn Kelly or Charlie Kirk, especially since neither of them denounced Israel completely like Candace has, with Charlie now never having the opportunity to do so due to him being killed. But despite my personal opinion about Megyn, no one should be pressured like this. And judging from her response, it seems to be having the opposite effect, as Candace said. I personally think Candace Owens should go all the way and release the information she has on Israeli agents like Konstantin Kisin, who poses as a neutral and a bastion of free speech, which is the complete opposite of who he really is. The same goes for anyone shilling for the Zionist entity. These people are apologists for the most evil regime in modern times that has killed children and civilians en masse on a daily basis for the past 2 years. Is there a bigger admission of guilt than Zionists buying off media and social media platforms to control the narrative in order to cover up Israel's crimes against humanity other than admitting it outright? Someone from a position of moral correctness wouldn't have to do that. Let's keep exposing these demons for who they are while we still can. Thank you for watching. Make sure to join my free Telegram group via the link in the description. And remember to like, subscribe and become a channel member for access to exclusive content. Until next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah.